This is the network service of the NTA.
DJ AB, G-Boy, Mr. Kebs, man. Ready? Little Prince, baby. It's your boy, Fizzy. When I look to my left, when I look to my right, all I see is Nama. Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. We must celebrate. Today is Sallah day. Let's party, no delay. All my friends, I'm on my way. Santing ye mukunama, ganna sanza kurama. Mungoda Allah mai sama, mutuncin har mi tama. I'm gonna visit all my friends and family. Bana sangoran Sallah kun san me ya kawo ni. Chillin' things with my girls, chillin' things with my guys. Barbecue with my niggas, I ain't taking that ride. When I look to my left, when I look to my right, all I see is Nama. Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah. When I look to my left and right, all I see is Nama. Manya manya, ga beef, ga chin chin, ga cake, ga kuma kaji. Manya manya, mu saka manyan kaya mi barbecue. Yan matan mu su saka a baya. Dan zaka ci nama ka zo barbecue, dan kada a barka a baya. Sallah, nama, zamu je mu gaida su mama. Ga takuma mai zafi and a ciki ai dole da bama. Wannan sallan za ta fashe kostin yanzu na fara ganin alama. Zamu je ziyara wurin Fati da Aisha Maryam Maimuna har da Siyama. When I look to my left, when I look to my right, all I see is Nama. Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah. Let's celebrate, yau take sallah. Na ci ado na sa kayan sallah. Zan fasa yawon sallah. Ce zan fasa yawon sallah. Sai ku zo mu je, ku zo mu je, ku zo mu je yawon sallah. Ku zo mu je, ku zo mu je, ku zo mu je yawon sallah.
Ringim ga shinkafa ga cin naman sai na yi ka cin cinya nake ta ci da kirjin din beef nake ci banda bindin din kek ga neighbors muke sending din messages mun bar su a pending din no time wakan zan yi ending din.
When I look to my left, when I look to my right, all I see is Nama. Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah. When I look to my left, when I look to my right, all I see is Nama. Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah, Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah, yeah. Nama Sallah. Yeah.
Easy on the beat.
All right, Eid Mubarak from the entire Medley crew. We just want to say Happy Sallah. And that music video you've just seen is performed by DJ AB and friends. Well, I talked about Sallah, Sallah Ram and everything. Sallah, of course, is the season we're in. It's a season of celebration, a season of sacrifice. Just when I left home this morning, my neighbors were already slaughtering. And they said, "Sister, where are you going?" I said, "I have to dash to work. But don't worry, you keep mine. When I get back, I will take it." This is the Medley Show, and my name is Cecil Egbele. This is a Sallah special edition of the program. You've met my guest already, and my guest is a chef. She was with me here last week. I will not let her do the introduction herself, please.
Okay. Eid Mubarak to everybody out there. I'm Chef Rashidat Usman Jibrin.
She's the mastermind.
Yes.
Last week we had her on the program where she talked to us about preservation of food, many things, everything food, and we learned a lot. I remember I told you to go back and see what you can do amongst the very many things she talked about, ways of preserving food, especially that of preserving tomatoes. She explained that in depth. So I said, okay, let's try it out. So if you did try it, you tell us as we continue with the program. How that went for you. So, Eid Mubarak, by the way, and I'm sorry we had to take you out of the house while I know you should be celebrating with family and friends.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good.
Let's drop from that video and from what I said at the opening. Sallah and the meat, the Sallah ram. However, what besides the ram? Is this just the ram that we killed during Sallah? Can a family kill any other thing?
Yes.
Slaughter any other?
Yes. Okay. You can do cow. You can do goat. Just according to what your finance can carry.
Okay.
Because for the cow, it's not for one person. 5 people can share, and it also serves as the sacrifice. Then ram is for 1 person.
Okay. And we know this is Eid al-Kabir. That's the one we call the big Sallah.
The big Sallah.
The big Sallah, yes. The big Sallah, the Sallah of slaughtering the ram. Okay, now we have this ram now. It's been slaughtered. It's been shared amongst family, friends. What delicacies, what can we make besides the usual frying of the meat?
Okay, I'm going to talk about based on regions. From the north, they prefer to do dambu nama.
Yeah.
They prefer to do dambu nama. It's just a properly seasoned meat, blended and fried. Then you just dry it out on a parchment paper to remove excess oil.
Okay, so it's dried?
Yes, after frying.
After frying?
Then you just blend.
It's blended or shred?
Yes. Okay. You can blend or shred
it, okay.
But the blending is easier. It's easier, and it helps all the seasoning to just penetrate properly into the
blender?
Yes.
Okay.
After frying,
you blend it.
Then, in the process of boiling, you season properly with garlic, ginger, pepper, your black pepper, white pepper, and all of that. Then you fry. After frying, blend. Then you have it in almost powdered form, but not really powdered form. Then just scoop it out of the oil. Then dry it on a parchment paper. The parchment paper will help to absorb the oil. Yes. Then we are good. Just portion in nice plates and serve to your guests. Then from the south, they prefer to do the pepper soup. Southeast, they prefer doing pepper soup.
Southwest.
Yes. Then the Yoruba part, there's something they call asun.
Tell me about it. Ram asun, because you know asun has goat meat.
Goat meat.
Okay.
Yes, you can do anything.
Okay, let's explain how for some people who have received their ram meat now and they are wondering what else they can make with it. Explain the making of the asun.
Locally. Yes. So you can do it on charcoal heat, so that you can have that flavor of
like
nice.
You cook it. So tell us.
After cooking, cook it to tender.
You boil it. You cook it with
all the
spices,
seasoning. Yes.
Okay.
Then you take it to your charcoal grill. Then you have blended pepper with oil in it, with salt and more seasoning. Then you just use your cooking brush to just baste on it. Then you roast on charcoal. That will help you to give you this very nice aroma of locally roasted meat.
Okay.
But it has to be very, very pepperish, extremely pepperish.
All right. So these are some of the options of what we can do.
With
so we have to get on. If there's any other thing different you'd like to add, we'll talk about it. But first, let's go on the street. It's Sallah, of course. We went on the street and sought to know from you what your special Sallah shout-outs. Who are you dedicating your special shout-out Sallah to? Please, let's see that, and then we'll be right back.
I would like to say my Sallah shout out to my dad, Mr. Kadri Tiamiyu, and to my mom, Mrs. Rashidat Tiamiyu, and to my siblings and family and friends, happy Sallah.
To my kids to start with, I have 2 kids, and to Nigerians at large, and my shout out to those at the front line, trying to keep the country safe, and kudos to them and their families.
I want to say happy Sallah to a friend of mine, her son. He's a security person, and also I want to recognize this period to one of my friends also, Yahaya, and a big friend in FCD, Malam Mda. Also, I love to wish them this happy Sallah.
To every Nigerian's Muslim brothers and sisters that are celebrating the Sallah, I want to wish them all the best. And at the same time, I want to say that we should, be our brothers' keepers, loving each other, demonstrating true love, and then work towards supporting the government to achieve some of the intended goals and objectives. So I want to say congratulations for the celebrations and wish all the Muslim brothers across the globe, not only in Nigeria, the best celebration.
I'm sending my shout out to my sister Beatrice and Mr. Tijani, yes, for the Sallah, and wishing them God's safety and protection during this festive period.
All right, so I would also ask you, Rashida, who would you like to give a special greetings to this Sallah?
My family. Everybody in my family. I just want to say Eid Mubarak to them.
All right, my guest is very quiet today. She's doing all right. Well, I would like to give my special shout out to. Okay, first, my DG, the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Abdulhamid Dembos. I say happy Sallah to you, and of course to my boss, the Executive Director, and all my bosses at the NTA. I want to say Bakadi Sallah to you. I expect to get an invite from you to come take a little something. Oh, it's okay, but if you can't invite me, I'll expect it when we resume work on Friday. Okay, I've just done an open invitation to myself. Of course, to all my neighbors and friends too, I would like to celebrate. And of course, to my family. And I would like to also extend my shout out very specially to all the Muslim faithful in Nigeria, and with all the Muslim faithful in Nigeria under the leadership of the Sultan of Sokoto. I would like to say Eid el-Kabir to you all. Okay, now let's, I was asking you what else we can slaughter for the Eid day. And I just understand, I just got a whisper that we could slaughter camel.
Yes.
Okay, really? I didn't know about that.
Slaughter camel.
How's the camel meat? I don't even think I've tested that before.
It's very tough.
It's very
tough.
tough.
That's what it's known for. It's very tough. You have to cook for a very long period of time before it gives you this nice tenderness.
And that's popular around which region, around which area? Because in Abuja here, at least I don't know about that. Even not in Lagos.
Very popular around the northeast.
The northeast, where?
Yes. Maiduguri, Sokoto, Yola, all those.
Can I slaughter goat?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Chicken.
Very well.
Okay, but not okay. Yeah, no, I was just wondering. I mean, well, for those who are not financially buoyant, they can come together with other families.
Yes. One.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Now let's talk about some cuisines, some popular cuisine. Oh, by the way, you can send your shout out, your Sallah greetings to your family, friends, bosses on our phone line 081 177 8 2020. Remember, This is a text only or a WhatsApp only number, 081-177-8-2020, and the number is showing on your screen. Popular cuisine during the season. What are some of the popular cuisine that families make, and are there some new recipes you'd like us to add to the menu?
Yes, popular cuisines. It depends on family, their financial capability, and also social status.
Okay.
Family, some families always want to do rice.
Oh, someone is seriously. No, continue. I'm hearing you.
Some families will always want to do rice. Even with rice, there are interesting menus you can do with rice that when you even prepare them, some people say they get tired of eating rice. But it's just that when you have just a particular type of rice every time in your menu, you're always having jollof rice, fried rice, that's when you get tired of it. There are 1,001.
All right, so tell us the not so popular ones.
Okay.
Not so popular ones.
The not so popular ones, I can say the Caribbean rice.
Caribbean rice.
Yes.
Okay,
we can make it with any grain type of rice, either short or long.
How is the Caribbean rice made? I mean, do we have all the ingredients here, because it sounds Caribbean?
Yes, very well.
Okay.
All the ingredients are even Nigerian.
Right,
I don't know why they are calling it Caribbean rice.
Tell us very quick steps to make the Caribbean rice.
Okay, let me just start with the ingredients we need to make Caribbean rice. You need plantain. Yes.
Okay.
You cut them in cubes. You need beef cut in cubes. You need carrots. You need peas. You need green pepper. You need red pepper and green beans. All this in one rice. Then, after boiling your rice, you just wash. You boil with salt water. Drain it out. Then, you must have boiled your meat already. You cut the meat in cubes.
Okay.
Then you fry, and also fry the plantain. Remove from heat. Add other vegetables. You have your aromatics like ginger, garlic, and onions. You add that first. Allow it to sweat out. Then add carrots and other vegetables. You just stir. Okay. Add in the plantain. Add in the beef. Then you now add your boiled rice. Then you just stir. Then the final ingredient to add to finish your cooking is the dark soy sauce.
This dark soy sauce.
Dark soy sauce.
And then we have our Caribbean rice.
Very colorful.
Okay, nice. All right. Besides the Caribbean rice, tell us another rice we can try out.
We can do the native jollof rice.
Native jollof rice.
Native jollof rice. That's you cook with palm oil. Yes, you cook with palm oil. But just for you to make it more interesting, you can now have your pomo, cut bite sizes of pomo in it. Add the dry shrimps. Then finally, you add vegetable, any vegetable of your choice, either pumpkin or spinach. You just add it up to give it color.
Sounds like what I made already. Yeah, okay, good. I see some messages coming in, and some people are actually trying to call. I've just begged you, I've just asked you, please do not call, just send in text messages. As a text message, WhatsApp message, just message, please. All right, so Eid Mubarak from Aliu S. Usman. Aliu S. Usman, you didn't tell us where you're writing from, so I would have skipped that already. I want to wish my dad, mom, siblings, and other family members and friends a great Eid al-Kabir from Khadija Mifki. Khadija, where are you writing from? Please do tell us where you're writing from. I am Clement Joshua, fashion designer and music artist from Cross River State. I want to send my shout outs to President Bola Tinubu and to wish him longer life, and as well to appreciate him for encouraging the oldest ones in Nigeria never to give up on their dreams. I also want to give a shout out to our beautiful, most handsome governor, Prince out. I prophesied that he will win the election and he won. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Clement Joshua, for sending in that one. My name is Jibril Yusuf. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Jibril. Hello, happy Sallah to all my Muslims around the world. Aminu Ibrahim writing from Kano. Okay, I still see, who is this? My name is Lawan Yushua from Kano. I want to use this medium to extend my Sallah greetings to all Nigerians and the world community. Thank you. There is a long message here. I can't read this one right now. So let's see. What are the lessons of Sallah you'd say you are taking away? I mean, from this, year after year, we get to celebrate Eid al-Kabir. What are the lessons? I mean, do we just go back to status quo after the whole celebration is over?
No. Togetherness.
Togetherness.
Yes. Togetherness. Unity. Because during Sallah, you get to unite with people of people you don't know. You get to go to pray with different people. On coming back, you meet your neighbor. You always want your neighbor to come and share with you in celebration. Eating together alone is just something that Sallah always give you that.
Oh yeah, it creates that bond, that togetherness for people. I get it. Yes, even around me, I get to have to feel that warmth, and I think indeed we should do a little more of that, even beyond the Sallah, Christmas, or whatever celebration we're in. All right. Gradually, we'll be running up our discussion on Sallah, so we can get back to our discussion last week. For those of you who watched the program last week, I said at the opening, we talked preservation of food. We talked about different food and how you can get to preserve it. Chef Rashida tried to put us through, try to correct some misconception, and we're going to continue that today. This next feature, we'll be taking a look at preservation of meats. Preservation of meat, especially since we know with the Sallah celebration comes a lot of meat. So how do you preserve your meat? This background feature will set the tone for the rest of our discussion today.
Eid prayer, a unique 2-rakat prayer, is observed in mosques or open grounds. It is recommended to practice on an empty stomach, especially for those engaging in rituals. One of the central rituals of Eid al-Adha is the sacrifice of an animal, typically a sheep, goat or cow, and in other cases, camel. This practice prompts reflection on the story of Prophet Ibrahim's unwavering devotion to God and the willingness to give up what is most dear. The sacrificial meat is divided into 3 parts. 1/3 is kept for the family, 1/3 is shared with relatives and friends, and 1/3 is donated to the less fortunate and those in need. Eid goes beyond religious observance. This festive celebration is marked by colorful attire, decorative embellishment, and cherished culinary delights. It serves as a powerful reminder of compassion, unity, and generosity, strengthening community ties and nurturing empathy for the less fortunate. Eid festivities typically extend over 3 days. However, a common issue encountered by many is the proper storage and preservation of the abundant food and sacrificial meat exchanged and prepared by friends and family. During this period of sacrificial celebration, animals such as cows, preferably rams or goats, are used. But after the celebration, what happens to the meat? Join me as we find out how meat is preserved. We start with ram or sheep meat, the popular animal sacrificed during the celebration. The ways of preserving this meat include freezing, which is storing meat inside a freezer with Ziploc bags. Next is smoking, which must be done with heat that is not higher than 155 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 hours. Dry meat can be achieved by cutting the meat into stripes and boiling for at most 5 minutes. Drain the meat and bake for between 8 to 12 hours. The meat would last for between 1 to 2 months. These processes can be applied to all forms of meat, but making meat into kilishi is reserved solely for beef or cow meat, and kilishi can last for at least 3 months.
Okay, so that's some of the preservation of some of the meats we get to slaughter and share during Sallah. So, like last week, you actually told us some of these: the freezing, the smoking, the canning, yes, the canning, and a few of these other ones. So, would skip talking about meats now and try to take a few messages, and then we'll come back, pick some questions from last week on general preservation of food, and then we'll see how we go from there. Okay, some people send it. Let's go to WhatsApp messages, where we have, first we have, I'm Judith from Imo State, Owerri precisely. My shout out goes to my able chef in the studio and to my friends who are celebrating today. And this Judith greeting you. Professor, who is this? From Prof. My special greetings to my friends, Hajia Rabi Abo, Shuaibu Momodu, Princess Binta. 3 of them are from Ankpa, while Yunusa Meiretu is from Lagos. Okay, thank you. Who is this? DPI Medical Hub. Okay, it's great. Medical Hub sending their greetings to all their clients. Okay, I want to wish my Muslim friends in Nigeria happy Eid al-Kabir celebration. My name is Ocean from Bayelsa. I want to send a shout out to my 2 bosses. Ooh, that's a pretty long one. Dr. Bashir Muhammad and Mr. Abdulrazak Aliu, all from NCRI staff in Bida, Niger State. So many of your messages. I will take more of these as we continue. But very quickly, I would like us to, Rashidat, let's take a step back to last week before we get talking about today's. We have a couple of questions that were left unanswered. Very many questions, actually. And many people said, she needs to answer my question. Oh, Saxon, why did you end the program? She has not taken my question. Don't worry. Rashidat is here and she'll take your question. All right, let's start from this first set of 3. This one is Sam from Lagos State is asking the secret of making pap. Is asking what's the secret of making pap right. Okay, that's not a preservation question, but because it's Sallah, we're celebrating, I'll let her answer that. Number 2, Peter from Kaduna State is asking, where are questions on the screen? All right. Peter from Kaduna State is asking how to preserve cow milk when there is no access to electricity. How to preserve cow milk. And let's take this last one. Preservation of spring onion leaves. Spring onions, yeah. So what Fatima from the FCT is asking that question. All right, which would you want to take first?
The secret of making pap.
Secret of making pap, okay.
Well, the secret of getting your pap right is the right consistency when you dissolve your pap in water. When you get the right consistency and your water is properly boiled, definitely you will get your pap right. But when your consistency is too thick or is too runny, especially when it's too runny, something must go wrong.
So when it's too runny, is it redeemable? I have to put back on the fire and be stirring it.
You can put back on the fire, and depending on the type of pap you're making. If it's the local pap from our local grains, you can just get the raw one while it's still hot. You dissolve the raw one in water and add it to the one that is that
you're cooking and that you're already making.
That you've already made, and the consistency is not thick enough. You can just add it to it and stir. As you're doing that, it gets thicker.
Even if it's not on the fire?
Yes, even if it's not on the fire.
Okay. All right. So the next one, how to preserve cow milk when there's no light, when there's no power?
For cow milk, that's the regular nunu.
Yes.
You just need to put in water, even without refrigerator. You just put it in whatever, if you're storing in a jar, or anything you're storing it in, you just dip it in water. But that will not last you more than 3 days. When it stays more than 3 days, it tends to get very acidic and sour.
Okay.
So that will make you have to, anytime you want, you have to take it. If you still have to take it after 3 days, that means you have to do more sugar in it when you want to consume it, which is not really healthy.
So still, electricity is still the best.
Electricity is just the best for preservation.
All right, but I wonder how our fathers, our parents that year, when they didn't have electricity, I wonder how they were preserving theirs.
Then they don't really preserve things. They always get everything fresh.
True. Preservation of spring onions
is always get your newspaper, old newspaper, wrap it where there's no moisture, wrap it, then just put it in a Ziploc or a nylon
that's still
bag.
the vegetable one you answered last week. Yeah, put it.
But sometimes spring onions is very, very, very stubborn. Very stubborn. Even with all of that, spring onions cannot do more than 5 days, even if it's in the fridge. By itself, it will generate the moisture, and before you know it, the moment one of it start generating that moisture, it will affect all of them. And
all right, Awol from Niger State is asking how to refrigerate foodstuff in a how to arrange foodstuff in a refrigerator. All right, that's one. 2, how to preserve vegetables, pumpkin leaves in a local way, and eggs. Okay, I think we've answered the question of preserving leaves. So we'll skip that. Put it in a newspaper. Make sure put it in the fridge so that you don't get some moisture. All right. Okay. Now this says how to preserve eggs. So we could take that. Then preservation of Zobo drinks to last long. All right. Arranging of foodstuff in the refrigerator.
Okay, in the culinary terms, there is something we call FIFO.
FIFO?
Yes, FIFO. First in, first out. Okay.
I get it.
It's just when you buy foodstuff from the market, maybe you still have some and you just need to restock. If you want to store, the ones that are there before, they'll come up, while the recent one you bought will go down. That's just the whole logic about first in, first out.
Okay, so the older ones will go down.
The new ones will go down.
The new ones will go down.
The older ones will come up. So that when you want to use, the ones that have been there before, you get to use them, and then those new ones you just bought still maintain freshness while you're exhausting the old ones.
Yeah, I think part of this person's question is trying to know foodstuff in area of meat, vegetables, milk. I mean,
okay. For if you have just one refrigerator or just one freezer, all raw items like meat should be down, then cooked one should be up. And it's not even advisable for you to have fruit and protein in the same freezer or fridge. You're supposed to have your vegetables, milk, and every other thing aside protein in a separate refrigerator, while all your proteins will be in the freezer.
Welcome to Nigeria, where we have just one fridge. So in fact, you've heard that people you can put a full pot of your soup or whatever in there. Then your apple still goes in there. Your milk still goes in there. The other one still enters here. Everybody does find their corner somehow.
Just fixing
stuck it in somehow.
It's not the best way.
It's not the best way. Okay, please. If you want to know the best way, please get to meet her or send a message to her later. Eggs. Preservation of eggs. Fresh eggs.
Fresh eggs. It's best safe in the fridge.
In the fridge.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Or when you just cool, dry place, room temperature.
Okay.
Not very hot.
After how long does the egg go bad?
If it's in the fridge, it can last up to a month. But outside the fridge, it depends on the temperature of the environment. If the temperature is high, within 7 days, your egg is already, when you crack it open, the yolk is not forming together again. It's already mixing up with the egg whites, which is not really, when you get to, when you have such experience, it's not advisable to eat
Let me ask you one question. One egg can get to ruin the rest of it. Now, all my eggs are there. I've broken the first one, it's good. Broken the second one, is good. I have 4 eggs. I've broken the third one, is good. I broke the fourth one, and boom, it's bad, and it's gotten all my eggs. So how do I know that the egg has gone bad? So I wouldn't just, or should I start breaking a different plate, pour in there, break different one, pour in?
It depends on what you're using the egg for. If you're frying, you can do the water test. You just put the egg in water. Anyone that goes below, that means the egg is good. But anyone that is on top
is floating.
is bad. But if you're using egg for baking, it's just best you break one after the other. You break one, put, okay, this is good, break the other one. You can just have, you're using maybe 1 crate of egg and you have 29 already. Then the last one you just,
hey.
I can imagine.
I can, please
I can
tell me about it. Okay, so let's see, should we take one more of the, okay, let's take our last question from last week so we can face that of this week. How to preserve foreign turkey? Turkish, are they?
A bird, protein.
It's still
freezer.
Yeah, put it in the freezer. Okay, yeah, that's take care of that. How to preserve rice and beans cooked together? Rice and beans, because I think preserving rice it may be a little different from preserving beans. I don't know, are they? But anyhow, when you cook, you know the rice and beans that you cook together. That's the question. Just note that. And let's take last one from last week. Putting bitter leaf inside water for like 3 days before using it. Is it healthy?
Is the bitter leaf, is it washed? If it's washed, not really healthy because nutrients is being lost in the process.
So for 3 days.
Because sometimes people wash it after washing, instead of them to just squeeze out the water and just tie it in a bag and put in the freezer, they prefer to leave it inside water. Let it just be there. So they have this might that when you leave it in water, it tends to reduce the bitterness. It doesn't. When you have bitter leaf, it's bitter.
Yeah.
So when you finish washing, just squeeze out the excess water, pack it in a nylon bag and put it in the freezer. When you need to use it, just bring it out, allow it to thaw, then you use it for whatever purpose you want to.
Okay. All right. Are we done with all our questions? I think so. Let's see. I think we're done with all our questions. So quickly, let's take a few messages and then we'll take a feature. This person is saying, good morning. My name is Adewale Daniel. It's good afternoon. From Ijebu Ode, I'm using this medium to wish my Muslim brothers and family happy Eid. Okay, who is writing from Ilorin? My name is Abubakar Farida Mora from Ilorin. You've not told us anything, but hello too. Okay, who is this? Hello, my good people of Nigeria. I'm Ogugwo Chinemerem Isaac from Imo State. I have cousins that are Muslim and I'm using the opportunity to wish all of them a happy Sallah. And he asked a question, how do you avoid your fresh meat from getting spoiled if you don't have a freezer?
You roast it.
You what?
You roast it.
You roast it. Well,
you dry, you can dry.
Yeah, we roast it. That roasting it, you have to cook it first before roasting.
Yes, you cook it first before roasting.
Yeah, so it's no more fresh.
Yes, it's no more fresh. Oh, he's asking for fresh. If you don't have freezer, you can't preserve fresh meat.
Maybe we should just come back to the Stone Age where we know how to do all this thing. All right, sorry. He just answered your question. If you don't have a refrigerator, then sorry, you just have to roast it.
And roast, fry, all of them.
Any of the other options. Okay. How do you preserve beans properly as long as 1 year? You know, then they will say we should put pepper inside the beans to not make weevils. Well, she said last week, I'm a very good student. Last week she said that you have to check that there is no weevil in anyone. That once you find a weevil in as much as just one of this bean seed, then it just may affect the rest of it.
Very well.
Yeah, thank you. So, so is there any other way we can preserve beans?
That's just it. When you get them from the market, pick properly, ensure that there is no weevil, pack it in an airtight container to the freezer or in a cold, dry place.
I can't just leave it in a sack or something.
No, sack doesn't work.
Okay. Neka from Moa here is asking how to make zobo right. Well, we are not having a culinary class now. I'm sorry. So who is this? Dear NTA, I sincerely make this dua as we celebrate Eid around the globe. I ask Allah in His infinite mercy to bless you, to bless your family, and to fill your heart with tranquility and peace.
Amen.
Now, this person is asking a question, and I'm trying to understand what is writing. My question is how to preserve dendero Hausa suya that can last up to a week. Please, can you read this? What is he trying to say? What's this word?
Denderus is a kind of Hausa meat that you cook almost 12 hours.
Oh.
After cooking, when you just get a fork, the meat, when you just touch the meat tends to separate from the bone by itself. Like you cook for a very long time. On low heat. 12 to 16 hours. Then to give you all the flavors of the meat will just go in. Then you don't need to stress yourself, struggling with bone and meat. Everything just, the flesh gets to separate from the bone by itself. You don't need to stress.
Yes, so he's asking how to preserve.
How to preserve it. Those kind of things you can't preserve because it's something that you...
He's asking the suya. I think it makes it
you can make it into suya.
Yeah, he's asking, he mentioned the suya in it. Yes, he mentioned something suya in it that meets suya version of it.
The suya version of that is just to add the suya yaji. It still goes back to refrigeration. After refrigeration, anytime you need it, you microwave or you return it back to open heat, either charcoal or you just pan fry. Then it will come back to life for one to consume.
Okay. Where do you keep the meat after roasting? Frances from Abuja is asking this question. While how to preserve soup without putting it in the fridge or boiling it on fire? Are you for real? Like, no, wait, no, calm down, wait. Let's look at this. You cook the soup. You don't want to put it in the fridge, or you don't have a fridge. You don't want to boil it. And you're asking us, how do you preserve it? Sister, please tell them.
You can't preserve that.
I don't know. Well, I guess that was meant to be funny. Just cook what you can consume. If you
at the moment.
Yes, just make what you can consume. Okay. I asked the questions, right? So what's the first question that I asked? Okay, I can't find the question anymore. Hello, this is Chika from Lagos. How do you roast meat when you don't have an oven or grill?
You can use your charcoal grill. It must not be mechanical. Just get your charcoal. Make sure the meat doesn't have direct contact with the charcoal. Let it just be the heat touching the meat. Not you just need something to put on the charcoal so that your meat doesn't get to have direct contact with the charcoal. Let it be that it's just the heat that will roast it, not you having your meat touching charcoal that you don't even know where it generated from.
Where it comes from. All right, Ada from Lagos is asking how to preserve fried rice. And I say I'm a very good student again.
Yes.
Okay. Oops, can I remember this one? Okay, but I don't remember the part where you say the vegetable you want to use for the fried rice, you can fry it aside. But when you've made your rice, you've put it boil it in the... You wash your rice, you boil it in the meat, in the stock. You fry it. Hey, Cecil. You fry it, yes. So then you add the stock in it and you cook it. Then you can, if you're not taking it immediately or for some, you're reserving it for a while, you have the veggies separate and you've fried it with the spices and all. You just keep it. Then when it's time to consume it, you just add your veggies, pour it inside this guy and just mix them together. And voila! Thank you very much. All right, anyhow, Am I right, or I just want to recap that?
You're very, very 100% correct.
Okay, all right. A very good evening to the afternoon to the presenters in the studio. A big shout out to you guys over there. My best regards. It's Zainab Babayo Maliki from Taraba. Thank you very much to you too. Hannatu Sadiq from Nasarawa State is saying good afternoon. Happy Sallah to all my Muslim Ummah in the world. How to fry miyan soye. Do you know what that is? Let me show you. Maybe I didn't read it very well. Okay, I'm sorry. I really would have loved to take that question, but I don't understand what that is. Sorry. Dear NTA, I like this show. Okay, that's just the message. Thank you very much. I would have loved to know who you are. Good day, Cecil. How do you know when food goes bad? It depends on the food now. I mean, well, give us instances of some. Let's see.
The taste of food automatically changes when it's bad. Okay, let's say for soups. For soup, you notice the consistency becomes runny, and it gives you this funny look, and it's always making one kind of sound as if something is smiling. Yes, that's very popular with soup. Then rice, definitely you notice that the rice is just producing moisture. You see some funny liquid all over it, and when you just try to lift it with spoon, it will not be dropping as if you have okra.
Slimy.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I know that. All right, so let me go to text message. Okay, I'm still on text message. Good day. I congratulate the guest speaker. Thanks for the enlightenment. I'm Chef F. Mwanwa from Port Harcourt. Okay, that's your colleague saying well done there. Okay, trying to take as many questions as possible. How to boil egg with cold water, and how to cook ganda with cold water. Boil egg with cold water.
Okay.
Boil egg with cold water.
You know, if you want to boil egg, you start with water.
Yeah.
For it not to break, you just add salt. You add salt. The salt helps it not to break, and it makes it easy for you to peel.
Okay, and many of our bachelors don't even know when their egg is cooked. Please help them.
Normally, professionally, your egg is supposed to be hard boiled at 13 minutes.
Hard boiled at 13 minutes?
Yes.
On medium heat or low?
Medium heat.
Medium heat, okay.
Medium heat. Hard boiled at 13 minutes.
Okay, okay. Someone is asking how to make tiger nuts. We're not teaching you how to cook meals, you know. We are actually trying to tell you about how to preserve some of these your meals. So I think very soon we'll be taking a feature, but just before we take that feature, or vox pop, I think, just before we get to take that, I would like to take one or two more questions. I am bundle funds from Kogi State. How can I boil yam and fried eggs? Thank you very much. Let's go on to something else. Okay, this person is asking, how do I preserve fresh fish for more than 24 hours? Achare from Niger State.
Always refrigeration.
Always refrigerated. Okay. I am Bola from Ijesha. Okay, no comments there after that, the greetings. Good afternoon there. I'm Emmanuel from Abeokuta. How to avoid food being spoiled. Sorry, we've taken that already. All right, I'll ask one more and then we'll go on to a vox pop. Hello, my name is Victory Okwaluwa from FCT. How do you preserve carrots when there is no electricity?
It's always wrapping. It's still a vegetable. You wrap in old newspaper, put it in a ziplock, and just make sure there's no moisture. Then you drop in the fridge.
All right. Let's take a vox pop now, and this vox pop is taking a look at food difficult to preserve. All right, we want to ask people, what are some of the food that they find difficult to preserve?
I made a very, very fine egusi.
I made it much because my son's birthday was coming about 4 days ago. I made these soups. I made stew, I made egusi, I made okra. So it was egusi that got spoiled. So that's why I'm still angry up to now. When you ask me, I told you egusi. It's egusi, honestly. And if there's no light, if you want me the following morning, it loses the taste. It loses the taste. The okra, I was able to manage it, the stew, no problem. But egusi.
Okay, I think vegetable soup. Because aside when you wash the vegetables and you start preparing everything, you know, basically if you overcook the vegetable, it becomes there's a way it's how will I put it? It will be over soft. Let me use that word. But you know, once you cook the vegetable and you have to like warm it, keep warming it actually loses its taste as well. Aside when you refrigerate it and all that, but if you keep it for days and you don't get to like you don't get to warm it properly, let me put it way, like if there's no light or you don't have gen, if you get to warm it all the time, it loses taste and it gets spoiled.
I think it's beans, because you know, actually beans, if you prepare beans today and it stays till tomorrow, it will lose its taste. So, and preserving it, once there is no light, you can preserve your beans, because if there's no light, you can put it in your deep freezer, and if your deep freezer is not on, the beans will definitely get soured. So it will not be good to eat.
I think it's jollof rice. I love jollof rice so much. Well, when I try to refrigerate it and bring it out the next day to eat, the taste, it doesn't give me what it should give. Do you understand? So, and fried rice too. I think so, yeah. I think jollof rice for me, because I actually love jollof rice so much. And when I try to like refrigerate and something, it doesn't come out the way it should the next day. So I think it's jollof.
All food is difficult to be preserved due to both carbonate and alkaline. But those that used to be easily perish or get spoiled were carbonate than alkaline stuff. Mostly I don't preserve food. Any food I'm going to eat, I'm going to do it fresh, little as it is, and I'll eat it. Because I believe that there's no food that can be preserved easily. All food can spoil, but the one that can mostly easily spoil is carbonate.
All right, that's on the streets. We ask people what food they find difficult to preserve. Rashidat, so which one of them struck you most? What would you like to comment on either of these very quickly?
The jollof rice. The person that said jollof rice is very difficult to preserve, I disagree with that. Jollof rice is very, very easy to preserve.
Yes, actually.
I think the hardest food to preserve is really vegetable soup. Because the moment you make them, if your freezer doesn't get the right temperature, they tend to lose their taste, color, the crispness of that vegetable after preparation. Because normally you're not supposed to cook your vegetable until they are looking very soft. It's supposed to just be on heat 2-3 minutes, take it off heat, let it cool, then you pack it in plastics, then you put in your freezer. For vegetable, they need constant electricity for you to get that freshness anytime you bring it out of your freezer to use.
All right, so back at the Sallah to everyone, please, can I slice onions and refrigerate part of it and use it another day? This is Solex from Abuja.
Never.
What will happen now?
The moment you slice onions and in fact, the moment you slice it, slicing it alone, the moment you leave it out, you're already exposing that onions to bacteria. And once you slice onions, if you can't use everything at that moment, it's just best you take very little, the smaller ones. So I advise you get big onions, small onions, so that when you want to make things like Indomie, you just pick the smaller ones and use it once, instead of getting the big one and just cut it. Then you now have them.
And what about if we just remove the layers and just remove the first 3 layers and use, so the other one
makes the onions spoil easily.
It
makes it spoil easily.
Okay. How do I preserve yam? You're doing a great job out there. Kudos. What's your name? How do I preserve yam?
Okay, I learned something recently I tried it and it really worked. Yam. The moment you cut, I noticed when you cut yam, you leave it. When next you want to come and use it, when you come back to use it, you notice the yam is already getting spoiled from that part you cut. So I tried something myself. I don't know the science behind that, but I tried it, it worked. I left, after cutting the yam, you just spread cinnamon on it. That part, the white part, you just spread cinnamon on it. Or you get lemon juice, you rub it on it. If you leave that yam for 1 month, you come back, cut that part, the yam inside is still very intact.
Cinnamon on that part where you've just cut?
Cut, yes.
Oh, okay.
Or lemon juice.
Or lemon juice.
You just rub it on the surface. Then when you want to use...
You tried it and it worked?
It worked, like 1 month.
Okay, you should try it too. I will try it and I will get back to you. And if my yam gets bad, I will come looking for you to replace my yam. All right, Chef Rashidat, I'm sorry, this is the much we can take on the program. Many of you are calling. Now, this is the thing. Last week on the program, and as much as possible this week, Chef Rashidat answered as many questions as possible. I see many of your questions coming in still around vegetable, preserving food, pepper, tomatoes, everything. Please visit NTA series on YouTube. On our YouTube, you get to watch last week's episode of the program. For those of you who have started our phone line, I will send the link on our status, so you can just click it and get to watch it. And this week's episode will also be uploaded, so you can have a look at it. And if there are questions, please do well to drop your questions, and as much as possible, I'll ensure it gets to how to answer your question. Chef Rashidat of Mastermind, she's a trainer, chef tutor, and so many others. Thank you very much for coming around.
Thank you for having me.
Barakah Sallah once again.
Thank you very much.
I'll be looking forward to your invitation.
Sure.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, no wahala. All right, and for the rest of you, enjoy your Sallah holiday. And do not forget to spread the love around. It's a season of celebration after all. Celebrate with everyone and each one. My name is Cecil Egbele saying bye-bye.